Have you ever heard of a country in South Asia that has the oldest tree in the world? It's a sacred fig tree that's an incredible 2,200 years old, planted way back in 288 BC. This fascinating place is Sri Lanka, the mesmerizing jewel of the Indian Ocean. If you're like me and love exploring South Asia, stick around. Picture a vibrant place, full of life, a mosaic of different cultures and warm traditions, making it a unique haven in the world. While there are many countries to explore in this region, today we're highlighting one in particular. We're talking about an island just below India, the captivating Sri Lanka. Maybe you haven't heard much about it. It's not common to see a flood of tourists there, and being an island, you have to take a flight to visit. However, the trip is worth every second to discover its wonders and secrets. Recently, the country has been facing economic challenges, raising concerns about its overall stability. Historically, this tropical paradise was known as Ceylon, often called the sparkling pearl of the Indian Ocean. Why? Sri Lanka is a true treasure trove of ancient temples. Imagine untouched beaches, surrounded by swaying palm trees and lush rainforests, free from pollution. Spanning 65,000 square kilometers, Sri Lanka, despite its compact size, is brimming with life. Around 22 million people live here, forming a rich, diverse, multicultural mosaic. Interestingly, about 70% of the population devoutly follows Buddhism. There's also a strong Hindu influence, likely reflecting its proximity to Indian culture. The Hindus, primarily from the Tamil community, are concentrated in the northeast and central parts of the country. In these areas, it's common to see cows resting peacefully on the sandy beaches, symbolizing the deep respect the community has for these gentle animals. If you look at the map, you'll see that Colombo, the capital, is situated on the west coast of Sri Lanka, not too far from the sea. Geographically, it's impressively close to India, with the shortest distance between the two countries being just 21 miles. Locals often describe the shape of Sri Lanka on the map as a teardrop fallen from India. Maybe because of this proximity, but still maintaining its independence, there's a certain sense of pride among some nationalists. From an aerial perspective, Colombo looks like a modern and bustling city. However, if you explore beyond the city limits, you'll find monkeys roaming around, wildlife, and charming rural areas. Even while facing economic challenges, the people of Colombo remain welcoming. Concerns about the future are more evident in the faces of Sri Lankan adults. But the children, like anywhere else, are curious and quick to smile at visitors. Offer them chocolates or small gifts, and you'll see pure and genuine joy. The people of Sri Lanka mostly have brown skin tones, sharing many genetic similarities with Indians. This closeness is both cultural and genetic, strengthening the ties between the two communities. In Colombo, the capital, there's a prominent oval structure that has become one of the city's most recognizable landmarks. Climbing up this structure offers an impressive aerial view of Colombo, attracting many tourists. Local vendors are extremely grateful for tourists who buy their products, as it significantly impacts their livelihoods. Sri Lankan hospitality is evident in the way they welcome and treat visitors, always with a smile and a warm attitude. Interestingly, the people living in northern Sri Lanka share many similarities in lifestyle and food preferences with the Tamils of southern India. This connection is visible in their culinary traditions and daily customs, highlighting the rich cultural tapestry that unites these regions. There's a clear cultural and lifestyle difference between the people in the northern and southern regions of Sri Lanka, a compact country with about 25,000 square miles. A lot of the nation's internal conflicts stem from these differences, often involving the Tamil community. The Tamils, who migrated from southern India to Sri Lanka seeking better living conditions, bring with them a rich history. After Sri Lanka gained independence, around 600,000 Tamils were sent back to India, although some stayed in the country. Eventually, Tamil became one of Sri Lanka's official languages, along with Sinhalese. Walking through the streets of Colombo, the capital, you'll see plenty of tuk-tuks, vehicles also known as bimos in Indonesia, which are perfect for city traffic. For intercity travel, blue buses and old trains are widely used. Train journeys are especially popular for the untouched natural views they offer. Many tourists lean out of the train windows to capture these landscapes in photos. Besides Colombo, Sri Lanka is home to vast virgin forests rich in biodiversity. Although the country doesn't have a subway system, buses, which have been in use for decades, remain a popular transportation option. One of the most notable sites in Colombo is the Red Mosque, famous for its impressive architecture and dedicated to the local Muslim community. Outside the capital, it quickly becomes apparent that many regions of Sri Lanka are still developing. The country was colonized by different powers over the centuries, including the Portuguese and later the British, who remained in control until 1948. Independence brought a series of ethnic uprisings and economic crises. In 2022, the country declared bankruptcy due to its inability to pay its debts. Sri Lanka is also vulnerable to natural disasters, like tsunamis. One of the most devastating occurred in 2004, when a tsunami claimed the lives of 35,000 people, highlighting the unpredictability and destructive power of these events. Sri Lanka currently operates under a parliamentary system and made history by having the world's first female prime minister. The country's economy mainly relies on tourism, remittances from expatriates, and the export of tea, coffee, and sugar. Interestingly, Sri Lanka is one of the largest tea exporters globally, right after China and India. Fishing is crucial to the economy, with coastal cities full of fishing boats. Those without boats use a unique stilt fishing technique in remote coastal areas. Rice is the staple food in Sri Lanka, and the country is also a major producer of this grain. Coconut trees are another common sight, and locals consume a lot of coconut. People who work in fishing generally have darker skin than the average Sri Lankan population. In Sri Lanka, fishermen are known for their dedication, working long hours under the sun to make a living. Even with low earnings, they show great appreciation for their occupation. One reason Sri Lanka's beaches aren't major tourist attractions is the constant presence of these fishermen. But that's not all. Marine creatures like crabs and turtles also often appear on the beaches, which can deter many tourists. This scenario explains why many choose not to visit Sri Lanka during the summer. The southern part of the country is washed by the vast Indian Ocean, and occasionally marine animals end up on the beaches. Professional surfers are the main visitors to these waters. However, hotels surrounded by lush vegetation offer an ideal experience for those who prefer to relax by the pool or explore the interior on jeep safaris. In Sri Lanka, the art of wood carving and painting is a major source of income for many locals. By turning wood into cultural artifacts, they attract the interest of tourists. These handmade souvenirs are sold for prices ranging from 200,000 to 400,000 Indonesian rupiahs, but bargaining is common. If you're good at haggling, you can bring the price down to around 100,000 rupiahs. It's interesting to note that the minimum wage in Sri Lanka is 26,000 rupees, roughly 1.2 million Indonesian rupiahs. $1 is worth about 325 Sri Lankan rupees, which means the average earnings might be lower than you'd expect. As you walk through Sri Lankan cities, you'll notice many buildings with worn-out facades. Typically, the buildings aren't very tall, and their colors seem a bit faded by time. In Sri Lanka, motorcycles dominate the roads, while cars are a rarer sight. Many locals make a living by running small shops or working in tea and rice fields located near the main roads. The daily lives of these individuals are deeply rooted in their beliefs, with unique rituals reflecting their traditions. One intriguing example is the Nellore festival, where participants roll on the ground as a way of showing gratitude to God. The country celebrates over 25 festivals annually, most of them religious, but the rites performed can be surprising to onlookers. Younger generations tend to take a lighter approach to these events, while the older folks maintain these traditions with devotion, keeping the teachings of their ancestors alive. During religious events in Sri Lanka, it's common to see devotees rolling around temples. A fascinating community in the heart of the country is the Veda tribe, who live primitively, completely untouched by modernity. They walk with sticks and wear simple fabrics, living just like their ancestors did. The Vedas rely on hunting in the forests, especially peacocks, for their food. Although hunting peacocks is technically illegal, the tribe continues to hunt them due to their special status. Almost daily, a peacock falls victim to their arrows and spears, ensuring the tribe's survival. Sri Lanka, rich in unique cultures and traditions, faces challenges but continues to captivate with its natural beauty, and the warm hospitality of its people. We hope Sri Lanka overcomes its adversities and shines again as the jewel of the Indian Ocean. See you in the next video.